Time for the final spin of the month. And we have the Roses 2025. So, let us get this going. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here, with the Roses, the 2025 version, because apparently there was an older version of this movie called War of the Roses or something like that. Um, so this is a movie that was donated for by our anonymous donator who wishes to remain so I will respect that for them. Um, the Roses is a movie that I know very little about. I did see a single trailer once, and I haven't seen it again since. I don't even remember where I saw it. It might have been in the theater, it might have been on TV. I don't know. But from what I gather, it's a comedy about like a family squabble or something. It like has something to do with like a family kind of being at each other's throats and like fucking with each other. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch, the one actress I can never remember the name of, but she was in Wonka and various other things. I can't remember her name, but I'll know it when I see it, obviously. And I believe Nshuti Gatwa is in this as well, from Doctor Who and Sex Education, the latter of which I have not seen. But I have not. I don't think I've seen him in anything besides Doctor Who. So this is rather exciting. Getting to see him in something else. Um, but that's pretty much all I know about this. I don't know who else is in this. I don't know any specifics about the plot. I'm very curious though because it looked funny, and most comedies these days are not funny to me. It's a big problem I have with a lot. Well, I mean, honestly, a lot of comedies in general. But most comedies I've seen, and not even just these days, but even in the past as well, are either relying on like stupid humor to where it's just not funny, or they're relying on crass humor. It's like the R-rated comedies that are just trying to be as vulgar as possible, and they think that makes funny. They think that makes it comedy. And neither of those types of comedy movies are funny to me. Um, I actually have a difficult time with comedies because of this. A lot of better comedies for me um are like pre-90s in a lot of cases, back when they were actually, trying to be funny and not be just crass. But there are, exceptions, and there's a lot of like family comedies that I like more. Um, and there are some that are geared more towards an adult audience that I like or have liked, but may have not aged super well, like the Rush Hour movies. But like if I looked up, as an example, here on my phone, if I looked up like a list of like best comedy movies, the stuff it's going to give me are things that I typically either wouldn't like or don't think are comedies. For example, Kick Ass. Kick Ass has comedy in it, but I would not consider the movie a comedy. I would consider it a superhero film, an action film. Heathers, not a comedy. I think I stated this back when I reacted to Heathers. Not a comedy at all. Okay, so it's listing Free Guy, and Free Guy I would consider a comedy. Free Guy is very referential, which some people don't like, but I'm fine with it. Free Guy is a good modern example. That's one that I actually do like. But like you think of a lot of Jim Carrey comedies, like The Mask and whatnot, those are good. Those are the kind of comedies that I think are actually, good at being comedies. Um, it is listing a lot of stuff here that I would not call comedy, even if they have comedy in them. Like it's saying like Now You See Me, Joker, Bullet Train. It's like I don't consider those comedies. Beetlejuice, I would. The Deadpool movies, I definitely would, because that's definitely a focal point of those movies. Kingsman would not consider a comedy. Into the Spider Verse, no. Adam's Family, there's one. Um, Iron Giant, what? But yeah, you get kind of the point. Oh, The Roses is actually listed here. That's interesting. Olivia Colman, that's her name, by the way. But yeah, a lot of these movies are either like something else first and then comedy, or they're just not good in my opinion. And it's all subjective, of course. Um, all media and taste in media is entirely subjective. But it's just a case of I'm very picky, I guess you could say, when it comes to comedies. So I'm hoping that this one is more of like an authentic comedy. More of something like, I don't know, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, rather than something like Bridesmaids. Something that's more just trying to actually be funny. That's my hope with this. Um, Other than that, I'm not sure exactly what to expect. So we're gonna go into this and hope for the best. But as a reminder, before we do, this is the final November mystery movie. This is the last one we're doing, because I only have time to record one movie this week. It's Thanksgiving week here in America, and it's a very busy, stressful week for me. So I'm cutting down the schedule in general. So you're seeing this on Saturday, and you're not going to see another movie reaction on Sunday. There will be a special other video that I've already got pre-recorded that'll be on Sunday. But this is the only movie. So I apologize for that, but I didn't really have much of a choice. It's like if I tried to push myself to do it, I don't. I just it would probably not end well for my mental health. I need to handle things properly here. Um, and weeks like this kind of need to be shorter. So I apologize again, but yeah. Either way, let's get to this reaction and see what the rose is like. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Well, that was a dark ending. Like, obviously, this film is like a black comedy and everything, but still, it's like, Jesus. And although it doesn't show anything or, like, confirm it necessarily, it's like, I think it's, like, it makes it pretty obvious. Um, and the thing is, nobody in their lives would even know, like, that they reconciled in the end. Like, their children, their friends, it's like no one's going to know, because the only thing like that they the last thing they knew about anything going on with them was that they were like aggressively pissed with each other and getting a divorce. And then their lives were completely ruined. They destroyed, like, he destroyed her restaurants, she destroyed his career. Everything just got entirely fucked. The idea of them getting back together in the end, and like kind of actually, talking shit through was like where they should have obviously gone from the start, and that's kind of the point. The movie is very clearly trying to send a message about proper communication between partners. And especially when that comes to grievances that they would have with each other. They have to properly air those out in order to get that kind of point across. And unfortunately here, they don't. They yell at each other, they accuse each other, but they never actually talk things out. They never actually give each other proper time to respond or a proper way to respond. And it just keeps escalating. It just keeps getting worse and worse with them doing crazier and crazier shit. And it makes for an entertaining movie. But like from the perspective of, a person watching this, it is heartbreaking to see. And they try to play it off with, the comedy of this. Obviously, you have Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman having phenomenal powerhouse performances, a fantastic supporting cast, a lot of great comedy. And it tries to use that to play off the dramatic darkness of this and the sadness. And even in some cases, realism. Because obviously people go through divorces and go through their marriages falling apart all the time in real life. It's horrifically sad, and there's a lot of things that can cause it. And one of the things that can actually be at fault is a couple, getting together and marrying without really getting to know each other enough first. Like, remember, he was just some architect who ran into the kitchen to get away from all that was happening. And they just fucked in the cooler right then and there at their first meeting. They had this spark of chemistry that bloomed between them, and they acted on it without thinking about it. And yeah, they then had many years. We don't know exactly how long they dated, but they eventually had 2 children. And it's like, it just feels like they didn't, they rushed into it. They rushed into it and really like needed to learn more about each other first. But also, there's obviously the added point of they really like needed to have better communication, like I said, in regards to the different paths their careers were taking after the accident caused his, the museum to fall apart. Once he started staying at home and working with the kids, once she started, expanding her business and all, they stopped properly communicating. That's what started to truly kill their relationship. They stopped like expressing things healthily to each other, and instead just like kind of put off their feelings. Like, they needed to share their grievances with how each other were handling things. She needed to talk more about how she felt like she was, how he was handling the kids was kind of going against her. And he needed to talk about how she was never around to be with the kids. And he needed to tell her, it's like, you're putting all this time into the restaurant and you're succeeding where I failed, and I'm jealous of that. And she needs to address that as well. They needed to talk. I'm repeating the same thing over and over again, but that's the gist of it. I don't know how the original 80s movie goes, comparatively, or the book that they're based on. But like this is I feel like a problem with a lot of marriages that fall apart. The communication just ends up either being bad from the start or getting bad or whatever else. And that more than anything, I feel like breaks these marriages up. And there's a lot of other reasons that things can happen. There's a lot of other resentments and pains and troubles that can brew. And sometimes it is just as simple as the two people in the relationship just falling out of love with each other. That can absolutely be the case. It can be that simple. And sometimes it's not even like, excuse me, sometimes it's not even as aggressive or mean spirited as this. Sometimes they fall out of love with each other, but, even remain friends and stuff after. Either for the kids' sake or just for their own, or just because they don't actually have any ill will. They just don't want to be married anymore. It's a very diverse thing. And there can be a lot of variations to it. My parents, for example, my parents divorced after I graduated from high school, and they're still in contact with each other regularly. They talk to each other, like we spend time at holidays and stuff. And most of the time, bar for like some fights or whatnot they have, they're on fairly fine terms with each other, but they're not in love anymore. They don't have those feelings for each other and they separated. And I mean, it's been a long time since then. It's been over a decade since that happened, but still. It's at that point where it's just how things are now. And neither of them have gotten into a new relationship or gotten remarried or anything. They've just kind of left that part of their life behind in a way. So not every divorce goes that smoothly, but some do. Some are, pretty amicable. And I'm lucky that this one was. But I've also had plenty of friends who have gotten through their parents having very messy divorces. And I've known people in general who have gone through messy divorces. Things happen. And it's crazy how people can change one way or the other. And so with a relationship like this, it's very clear they still loved each other. Like the entire time they're feuding and fighting and yelling at each other, it's very clear those feelings are still there. So the little ending twist of it's like, oh, I never stopped loving you. It's like, no shit. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be going this far. You're going this far, you're taking these drastic steps because you care. Because you still hold that love. And mind you, they obviously went to like the huge extremes at the end. It's part of the black comedy aspect of this, and it's meant to be over the top. Like him drugging the people at her restaurant and then also poisoning her with, her allergen is fucked beyond belief. And then she pulls out a gun and tries to shoot him. Which, yeah, is also pretty fucked, but it's like, hers was honestly in response to what he did, to be fair. She had not gone that far. What he did there was insane for what she had done at that point in time. And it's like, again, that's the point. It's a black comedy, it's a satire, it's meant to be like aggressively over the top. But it's like, Jesus Christ. Like the mushroom thing was bad enough, but then you're like, you're holding her life hostage with her raspberry allergy just to try and get this house. It's like Jesus fuck. But again, the point is that they're the idea is that they're still so much in love with each other that they're going to these lengths because they're basically trying to goad each other into giving in. They don't want to be, each of them doesn't want to be the one to call it quits. Each of them doesn't want to be the one to say they were wrong, which nobody wants to admit they're wrong. You should. You absolutely should. But nobody wants to. But neither of them wanted to admit it, and so they're trying to goad the other into doing it by taking more and more extremes. When he said he was never going to let her die, I did believe that. I don't think he would have let her die. I think if it got too bad, he would have just done it. He would have just, done it. But the fact that he was still holding her hostage with that was still fucked. And honestly, like, I don't think she was like a good aim or anything, but I don't think she was trying to actually hit him with any of her shots. I don't think she was actually trying to kill him. Again, she was trying to basically scare him into giving up. And obviously that's not healthy. It's not fucking healthy at all. It's horrifying. And in real life, like, yeah, there's no getting back together after that, I feel. But in the case of a movie like this, that's, trying to say something while also being dark intentionally, it's like that's what you're going for. It's got to be shocking. It's got to be intense. It's got to be, the craziest step forward. It illustrates the idea of what this movie is going for. It is showcasing a couple who, through various events, get so angry at each other that they're willing to take it to any degree to fuck with each other and eventually divorce and fight over that. Like, in real life, if something like this happened, it would be like horrifying. It would be so fucking terrifying. Like, that's like both of them would be imprisoned for attempted murder. But again, you have to take the context into account here. I liked the pacing of this. It never felt too slow or fast. I liked the supporting cast. All of them did a great job. It may be partial bias, but I think Ncuti Gatwa was my favorite, and I kind of wish he had screen time. That may be by more screen time, I mean. It may be partial bias because of my love for his performance in Doctor Who. But also, I just don't think the others really, like, stood up to his level of entertainment. I thought he was funnier, more interesting, and more investing than a lot of the other characters. Like, Kate McKinnon, like, played the kind of role that Kate McKinnon always plays. This is just her role. And she's good at it, but you have to be into that kind of character to really enjoy it. And I'm just kind of like very on it. Like I was the same way when I saw her in the Barbie movie. Just It's like not bad by any means. She did a great performance, but it's not really my kind of humor. It's not really my kind of character. I had no real issues with it, but again, it's nothing that I'm going to be excited about. Andy Samberg, honestly did a better job than I was expecting, I won't lie. Like, Andy Samberg, just as an actor and a comedian and everything I've seen him in, not someone I would be excited to see in a movie usually, but he did a fair job. He wasn't too cringy. I just don't feel like he added enough, you know? I don't feel like he had that much of an impression to me. They also had the two other friends who were just nothing. They didn't have enough screen time to really make any level of impact. I don't remember their names. They were the two who were trying to get in on the like shit talking each other at the end there. They had no impact on the film. They needed so much more screen time to actively feel like characters, honestly. To be fair, I think the dinner scene with them like starting to insult each other was the most screen time they had. I think they had more screen time in that scene than the rest of the movie combined. So it's just like I just didn't really connect to them at all. And then you had just like I guess various other characters throughout this. Again, no one was bad, but really no one really like stood out to me. And again, I will be fully honest. It might just be because of loving him as the Doctor in Doctor Who, and I just like came to that connection. I was just excited to see him. I'll be completely honest, it could just be that. But even if it was, it's he's still the only one of the side characters of the friends who really hooked me in. So, I mean, that still stands. That doesn't change. Um, yeah, there was a lot of like fun little moments in this. A lot of crazy shit going down. Again, getting progressively more and more so. And there's obviously things to discuss, which I did a lot of during the reaction. I paused it a couple times to discuss certain topics they brought up, like the kids, the argument between being healthy and eating healthy and having like some sugar here and there and whatnot. Um, but all in all, it's more about these two like coming to each other's throats and going crazy, and it's like that's more of like the fun of it, the excitement of it, but also the drama aspect. And so, yeah, it's one of those movies that you're just kind of meant to have more fun with because if you overanalyze it, obviously, it's a lot. But you're just kind of meant to have fun with it, acknowledge what it's trying to say and the things that it's talking about, and like just just have fun with the premise and enjoy the actors, the over the top performances. Just get into it. Um, if I had to say a favorite scene, I really liked the dinner table scene where especially when they like really start like going crazy and snapping at each other, much to everyone else's discomfort. Like when they really start acting, basically. Benedict and Olivia did a phenomenal job the entire time, but during that scene, it's like they were giving their all to that performance. And it's like that just like, it was so good. It was so well done. There were a lot of softer scenes that I really enjoyed, a lot of comedic scenes. The scene where the kids call them and are like, "Oh, hey, so you're getting a divorce? Oh, that's cool. We're so happy for you. You needed this and everything." And then they end the call with, "Okay, bye, love you." It's just like that is so that is so ridiculous. Just the way that was done. It is so satirical and silly, and I kind of loved it. It was funny. It was really funny. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. It wasn't like anything spectacular. It wasn't anything amazing. But there was nothing that really like I had major issues with. It was just one of those things where it's like I think I'd rate it like a solid 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Somewhere in that range. It's really good. Nothing like mind-blowing, but I would watch it again for sure. I would enjoy this film again. Especially with another reaction. Like I would watch somebody else's reaction for sure. But I know there's things I'll have forgotten to talk about, so if you have any specific questions, feel free to answer below. And thank you so much for tuning in. This was the final mystery randomized movie of November. So next month for December, we are going back to our normal, regular, just me picking movies on top of our holiday special, which will be also be coming on specific dates during the month. We have a video up that details all the movies we're reacting to for this year's holiday special. You can find that on the channel. But yeah, all reactions will be continuing as normal. So it's still going to be 2 a week up until pretty much when we take our winter break for the end of the year. It's just we can only do one movie this week because of the holiday. So yeah. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Leave your comments down below. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.